That's strange. These don't look Romorian to me. More like last century Fontaine.
Adventurers from last century Fontaine, huh? Oh, Modeste and Savelli, do you think they camped here?
By the looks of it, this was a one-person camp. They adventured together, but maybe one of them came back alone at a later date. Huh, you really think so?
Trust our adventurers' instincts. We're pros at this stuff, just like you're a pro in the kitchen. Okay, well, the Traveler has more adventuring experience overall, but Paimon's definitely a pro rummager from all those treasure chests. Darn it! Paimon was just about to show off her rummaging skills!
Huh, no kidding. Are all adventurers so obsessed with journaling? I mean, I guess I take a lot of notes when I'm cooking as well, but I thought that was just me.
Anyway, let's find out who was here.
It's been years since I've last visited these ruins. It's exactly the way I remember it. This place probably hasn't changed in millennia. Sadly, up above, on dry land, everything has changed. The treasure of Remoria. That's what we used to call it. Modeste was right about its potential. It turned Gâteau de Bourg into a national sensation. Our limited stock of the substance meant that the gâteau could only be produced on a small scale, but this only drove up the popularity all the more. Modeste was right about that too. He predicted all of it. He was praised as a genius, while I, as the one person who'd ever disagreed with him, was labeled a talentless fool. Modeste tried his best to console me, but I knew better than anyone just how great the gulf was between us. Our conversations grew scarce, and we saw less and less of each other. I didn't fight it. He had new friends and a career of his own. Why invite further disdain by inserting myself where I did not belong? I told myself that maybe one day, when I finally created a masterpiece of my own, I'd be able to face him without shame. Or maybe one day, when I've put these feelings of self-loathing behind me, I'd be able to ask him with a smile on my face, how about we go on one more adventure, for old time's sake? Unfortunately, that day will never come.
So it was Savelli. From the sounds of it, he came back after Modeste had already died.
I always thought it was just a legend. But if it's true, then this must be the place where they found their secret ingredient, the birthplace of Gâteau de Bourg.
In that case, what does that say about the death of Modeste? If it's all true, maybe Savelli really did have something to do with it.
The taste of Gâteau de Bourg has changed. Modeste was convinced of this, even though everyone swore they couldn't tell. Being the perfectionist that he was, he refused to accept even the slightest flaw in his work. He stopped all sales of the product, locked himself away in the kitchen, and worked day and night, vowing to find out where he had gone wrong. But as he baked and taste tested over and over again, he found he only strayed further and further from the original taste. It was only when he was sipping on coffee one day and realized he could not taste the bitterness that the truth finally dawned on him. What had changed was not the gâteau, but his sense of taste. The treasure of Remoria stimulates the senses, taste included, and invigorates the spirit. In the short term, it offers people the ultimate gourmet experience, but in the long term, it dulls their senses entirely. In hindsight, it made perfect sense. After all, why would a culture that sought liberation from the constraints of their bodies care for the loss of their senses? But we realized it too late. We were just too late. Over the course of his many culinary experiments, Modeste exhausted the remaining supply of the treasure of Remoria. He consumed it all himself. The finest culinary talent of his generation now faced a future in which he would never be able to taste anything ever again. Finally, in despair, he took his own life. And because we had become estranged, I could not be there to stop him, to offer some words of comfort, or even to say goodbye. Yet despite everything, he sent me his final letter.
The treasure of Remoria? Guess Monica was really onto something. It really was a kind of drug.
So, Modeste chose to end his own life. Then, why all the rumors that Savelli murdered him? Also, neither the Codex nor any other contemporary records make any mention of the treasure of Remoria. It's almost as if someone deliberately erased it from history.
Modeste told me everything in his final letter. His was a tale of how even a genius could fail, and how much more devastating it is when it happens. Did he hope I would gain some personal catharsis from knowing the truth? Or maybe he wished for me to warn the public about the dangers of Gâteau de Bourg, proving that I had been right all along. But if the public ever learned how Modeste's greatest triumph became his undoing, his fall from grace would be swift and merciless. 1 minute a genius, the next a joke. It would surely spell the end for his restaurant too. What would be his legacy then? How would future generations view everything we built together? I fear the scorn I have faced these last years would pale in comparison to the scorn shown to him by the history books. I cannot let that come to pass. I will do what I must to protect his name. It will mean tampering with his notes to remove the damning details, leaving mere fragments of our story behind. It may lead his family to suspect me of having a hand in his demise. But if that's the price of destroying all evidence of my crimes, then so be it. I would rather the world believe a tale of genius and jealousy than see his reputation in tatters. The final loose end is the evidence here, at the bottom of the sea.
Huh? What's wrong? Didn't we say Savannah should be safe for now?
So we thought, but if Monica finds out what happened to the treasure, there's no telling what she might do.